I get to keep that. That's always going to be my job.
Hello! Oz and Commish are back again for episode 45 of High and Outside, an irreverent sports ball podcast. If you're first time listening, thanks for checking us out. If you've been here with us forever, thanks for listening. Please check us out on Instagram and Twitter at AOK Worldwide. You can find all of our episodes on iTunes and Spotify, as well as we do have a domain, www.aokworldwide.com, and that will get you where you need to go to fill your ear holes with our episodes. We do have a YouTube channel. We'll put a link in our promotional on Twitter for this episode. We post our video casts and have some fun videos coming up that you can find on the YouTube channel. You won't want to miss them. Commish, how about the one-hitters?
All right, starting with the Preakness. I actually did watch the race with my grandpa this weekend. I didn't even know it was this weekend, but he's like, you want to watch the race? All right. So it was actually a pretty good race. Rombauer.
Yeah, man, that guy was the broadcaster was really into Rombauer.
He was just had his moment and he took it.
Hey.
And then he came from third place and then beat Midnight Berman and Medina Spirit, Medina Spirit is the Kentucky Derby winner. As far as I know, still hasn't been disqualified.
Yep.
The owner wasn't there for the drama of the drug test, but I don't know.
The trainer, not the owner.
The trainer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bob Afford. He's a trainer. And so, if owners will, hire him to take care of their horses.
Yeah. All right. And now we're going to talk about the best hockey, which is playoff hockey. Playoff update. Islanders and Penguins series is tied 1-1. The Bruins lead the Capitals 2-1, which means they came back too. I saw the first game. And then rocking them like themselves, the Hurricanes lead the Predators 2-0.
That was terrible.
Yeah, right there. Lightning lead the Panthers 2-0. The Jets lead the Oilers 1-0. The Leafs and the Canadiens start tonight. And then the Avs are pretty damn good. And they're beating the Blues 2-0, and they've been decisive. And the Knights and Wild are tied at 1-1, so hopefully that series continues to get wild.
Dude, I love playoff hockey.
Best type of hockey, man.
It's so fun. Every single because the refs let it be really physical, and they don't call a lot of penalties, and there's because it's a series and hockey is such an aggressive physical sport that when you have to play the team over and over again, it just gets such heated because they have to see each other over and over again, so the grudges build, and it's really intense. I was watching Penguins Islanders, and it was game 2, and there were fights, there was a lot of scuffles, there was big hits, people taking offense to stuff, and I was just this rest of the series is going to be fun as hell because it's already fun as hell, and we're game 2. Not to mention just how intense hockey is because it's almost always in the playoffs, almost every game is overtime or really close down to the wire. So at any point in time, anybody can just whip one in there and change. It's just crazy, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's so fun. And some wild shit just happens.
Tuesday, we'll get into this in What's the Haps, but on Tuesday, the first day of the play-in games in the NBA, the Eastern Conference ones, the Eastern Conference games were so blowouts that I was just I'm gonna watch hockey. Yeah. Because it was just way more exciting, and I've never felt like that in my whole life. I've always loved playoff hockey, but it's rarely that I would pass up playoff basketball for playoff hockey unless it's a decisive game or something. Mm-hmm. But man, I've been getting more and more into it.
Dude, it's fun. It's a fun sport, and
crowds have been back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the crowds are back. So it's got the atmosphere, and then plus that Indiana game. All right, we should probably just get into What's the Haps.
Yeah, What's the Haps? This is going to be mainly NBA playoff talk. We're just wrapping up the play-in games right now, which is what Commish was talking about with the Indiana game, which was just the first game of the play-ins. We all been oh, the play-ins, this will be cool. And Indiana was no, it won't, because we're going to beat them by 40. Like,
I changed to the 4Play Golf YouTube channel. And was just watching their travel series because I was just over that game.
oh yeah, it was terrible. Like I said, I was watching hockey because I was like, this is terrible. NBA play-ins.
Let's do that hockey.
For the first Tuesday night was the Eastern Conference. We had the aforementioned Indiana Pacers destroying the Hornets. The Hornets
They got swatted.
just didn't even show up.
They outpaced them.
They just
you could say.
didn't have it that night. It was weird, man. That Charlotte team had so much promise.
Oh, come on, dude.
Nathan
I've
said
had
no.
like 3 bangers in here so far. I'm pretty proud of some of the ones I did. Dude, rock them like themselves.
Say bangers or clangers?
Oh, God. I don't know. Rocking them like themselves. I stand by that one. Telling you.
That Charlotte team had shown so much promise, and they just got their shit rocked by the Pacers.
Swatted.
And then in the second game, you had Boston and Washington, and everyone was like I think there were a lot of people on the Washington bandwagon, which myself included. I was like, oh, Russ is killing it right now. Brad Beal. The Celtics suck right now. And then Jason Tatum's like, oh, yeah, I'm really good.
Still good.
Still good. 50 on them. 50 burger. Takes the Celtics into the playoffs where they get to play the Brooklyn Nets. Good luck with that. And they have to watch Kyrie Irving
Yeah.
take him to task for 4 games probably.
And is everybody healthy on the Mets? Or the Nets?
I don't know about the Mets. The Mets have problems. I think DeGrom's on the IR. But the Nets, yes, they are all going to be playing. They're all healthy. So that's fun.
Yes.
Good. Ugh, I'm
Dude,
really
it's gonna
excited
be
to see
fun,
how
man.
that looks, man, in playoffs like the Nets.
It's going to be intense.
But then, then last night, Wednesday night, in the Western Conference, we had 2 much better games.
Yes.
Memphis, San Antonio, Ja Morant and the young Grizzlies take care of business at home, taking down Pop and DeMar DeRozan. Ja Morant was big down the stretch. Jonas Valanciunas was incredible. He had a 20-20 game. Really just Memphis had a pretty big crowd. There were a lot of people there, and it felt like a playoff game, which was cool.
You could say it was in Tempest. Intense in Tempest.
That's really bad, bub.
Oh, God, I'll leave after
That
that
one
one.
is really bad.
I was a stretch. I will acknowledge that one. I swung and missed.
Sometimes it's good to just lay off.
Gotta
have a better eye,
Yeah.
bud. Memphis takes care of business at home, and now they await the winner of the loser of Lakers Golden State. Last night we had the play-in game of all play-in games. Lakers Warriors. Steph and the boys coming to Staples Center for the Lakers' second game with fans since the pandemic started.
Still not enough though.
It's not enough, but the Lakers did have more than some because they have a vaccinated section, where you can fill up as many vaccinated people as you can in a full section, which
Pack them in there.
adds to the noise. When you have a dense section, it helps the noise amplify. But the Lakers Warriors, LeBron a little gimpy but playing, Anthony Davis playing. The Lakers, I heard this. I think they said this at the very top of the broadcast. The Lakers starters that night had played all of 3 games together, or something like that, because
Dang.
they've all just been so hurt, and so that's why everyone's kind of even though the Lakers are going to be the 7 seed, the Lakers did beat the Warriors 103-100. LeBron hits a huge put your nuts on the table shot at the buzzer of a shot clock, and
Right in front of Curry.
right in front of Curry's face. It was crazy because in what world does LeBron win a game by hitting a 3 from the logo in Steph Curry's face, and it's not the other way around?
Right.
From
that deep.
Yeah.
It was deep.
And he just dominated the second half of the game.
Dude, I mean,
they all were. I'm not, but LeBron could just in the second half. LeBron really was no.
he
I'm
did
still
LeBron. That's what
awesome.
he's known for. I mean, he did LeBron.
This is what's going to happen. This is why people refuse to be skeptical about whether the Lakers they're still the favorites, because LeBron, when he gets into the playoffs, he can just take over games. And when you add Anthony Davis, you don't need a lot else. It's just you don't need much else, and they're scary.
Dude, Dude, they had some great plays all around.
Oh, last night was fun as hell. That game,
It was like an all-star
give me
game.
all those. I really was like, all right, we running it back for game 2 on Friday night. Come on.
Let's fucking go.
But the Warriors now will host the Grizzlies
Right.
on Friday night and try to get into the playoffs. Golden State beats the Grizzlies. They're in, and they'll face the number 1 seed Utah Jazz, which I honestly think they could win that series.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell's just coming off injury. Steph gets hot. We know what he can do. Like, that team, I think, could still win a series, and it would be a really interesting in the Western Conference to have a 7 and an 8 seed that feel really, really dangerous.
Really strong.
Really, really dangerous. And I think it was Rosillo who was talking about how bad he felt for the Suns, that like it's gonna happen to draw that the year that they're good enough to get the 2 seed. Oh, the 7 seed, it's the Lakers.
Right.
Good luck.
With
Well, not like good luck. I mean, they stand a chance. Don't get me wrong.
No, but
I just
it's-
mean, but like that fucking sucks. Like,
any other 7 seed?
yeah,
Like,
you get the 2 seed. You're expecting like somebody that even if they're good, you would be the favorite against. I assume. I haven't actually looked yet, but I would assume that the Lakers are favored to win that series in Vegas.
they gotta be now.
I think they definitely are.
Like, I mean, it coulda, woulda, shoulda, but man, if they had Clay,
Yeah. I
That
mean,
would-
that's a whole different conversation. I don't
Yeah.
think either of those teams are in the playing games if Clay, well, if people had been healthy, that's what I would say. I don't think either of those teams are in the playing games. I don't think the Lakers would have been if LeBron and AD didn't get hurt. And if Clay was healthy, that Golden State team, and Wiseman got hurt too, like that Golden State team is going to be good next year.
let's hope so. I like it. I mean, we're running out of like primes of some really, really excellent talent.
Yeah.
So we have to enjoy it while we can, and last night was a perfect example of how
Oh.
fucking fun all this is going to be. And there'll be obviously players coming up, but like there's some special things going on right now in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So tonight we get Washington and Indiana.
I'm glad Russ. They were at the 9-10. I'm really glad.
Yeah, me
Russ,
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that we're us. Like, he really struggled with like scoring the ball in that first playing game against Boston. And even though he was affecting the game, you could just tell it just wasn't quite there. I really hope he has a big game tonight. I secretly think that they may have just been like, this is, by the way, I have no evidence of this, but I secretly think that like,
Tinfoil hats on.
yeah, seriously, we need to get a pulley for tinfoil hats when we go conspiracy theory.
Right. Or a sound effect.
Yeah, definitely sound effect. But
Aliens.
the United States government says we have superior artificial intelligence, like from the alien ships. What the hell? Anyway,
I don't even know, man.
I think secretly that the Wizards might have been
Casting
Like-
a little spell.
like okay with losing last night or 2 nights ago, because now as long as they beat honestly, the Pacers are not that good. They looked really good against Charlotte, but they're not that good.
Charlotte did not play well.
No. The Wizards, all they got to do is beat Indiana, and now instead of playing the Nets, you get to play the Sixers, which the Sixers are awesome too. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the Sixers because I love Joel. But
Okay, you guy.
hell yeah,
Rock chalk.
rock chalk. But the Nets feel kind of like a different animal.
Yes.
It's like maybe we don't want to play them. Although I was really rooting for the Wizards in that game so that we would get KD and Russell Westbrook in
That'd be intense.
a playoff series. Hell yeah, let's go. Now it's very unlikely that will ever happen because the Wizards would have to win their way through the entire Eastern Conference and get to the Eastern Conference Finals for that to happen. Doesn't seem likely.
Good luck, guys.
But so we get that tonight. Tomorrow night we get Warriors, Memphis, and then we'll have our full set. But we know generally what the matchups are now, and I thought we'd just run through them, talk about which ones we're most excited to watch versus which ones we're least excited to watch. Start in the East, the
High
Sixers.
on and low on.
High on and low on. There you go.
Name a new segment.
High on and low on. What do y'all think of that shit?
Yeah, that's organic.
That is live brainstorming. Sixers, and then let's assume the Wizards win just for this sake. Sixers Wizards. Thoughts?
It's less of a. We just talked about it. I think that's all that really needs to be said.
All right, so I'm just gonna maybe it's easier.
In
I'm
my
just gonna
opinion.
run through all of them, and then we'll go high on, low on.
All right.
Sixers Wizards or Indiana. Nets Celtics. Bucks Heat. Knicks Hawks. So those are the East. We'll just do the East first. So you got Sixers versus either the Wizards or Pacers, and then Nets Celtics, Bucks Heat, Knicks Hawks.
I'm high on 76ers because I like KU guys. I'm high on the Nets Celtics because, they'll be at the Garden sometimes. It'll be like pretty good. Trailblazers Nuggets.
Dude, we just did the East.
Oh, sorry. I moved to my column. My bad.
I gotta go through the East.
Right.
So in the East, I am excited to watch Joel, but I'm gonna I think if I was gonna pick a series to be high on, it's actually gonna be their round 2 series when they run up against Heat or the Heat or the Bucks, or the Knicks or the Hawks. I'm really high on Bucks Heat because I think the Heat right now are playing. They're on fire, if you will, and they're heating up. He's on fire. And
we haven't played that game in a long time.
no, we haven't.
We should bust it out.
But Giannis versus Butler versus all the young guys, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. I'm just excited to watch Bucks Heat. That's an all-time banger first round series in my opinion. And then
that's a hot way to start.
Yeah, and then I'm just kind of excited to see the Knicks host playoff games again. That sounds weird, but the Garden.
2001 they were in the
No,
playoffs?
it's more recent than that because it was when with Melo they were in the playoffs. So I think it was 2013 or something like that.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so it was a while before the last time I think.
Yeah. In the West, we get Jazz and let's assume the Warriors win because that's way more fun. Jazz Warriors, Suns Lakers, Nuggets Trailblazers, and then Clippers Mavs. Thoughts? High on, low on?
There's just a lot of good matchups in the West.
Yeah. The West is just ridiculous.
I don't know,
because because the thing is, if the Warriors win and Steph is in the playoffs, I'm gonna want to watch every game that Steph's in. Because Steph playoff games are just incredible, and there's a guy like that in every one of these series. Because obviously, Suns Lakers, there's a bunch of them: Booker, Paul, LeBron, AD. And then in Nuggets Blazers, you got Dame and Jokic.
Dame time, baby.
Dame time. And then in the Clippers Mavs, Kawhi, Luka, and Paul George.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The West is just, maybe I'm just high on the West.
I can't tell if we're biased or not, but it just seems like we watch a lot more West basketball. Yeah. It's I feel like just the West is just way better than the East.
I just think the West is better. It's just deeper because even though Knicks Hawks I'm excited to see the Knicks host playoff games
the New York Knickerbockers.
They would probably be the 9th team in the West.
Yeah, in a playing game
of all of the game. I would take every single team that's actually in the Western Conference playoffs if Golden State gets in over the Knicks in a series. And the same way with the Hawks. And the same, not the Heat. I probably wouldn't do the Heat. But, I would for the Celtics probably. And the Wizards and Pacers. It's just way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to rank the teams, of the first 12, 8 of them are probably East-West Conference teams.
Yeah, right down the line. Just stacking the deck.
So, I just can't wait to watch these playoffs unfold. I'm excited. I'm interested to see how this whole,
Pacers Wizard just started.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Jazz, the fact that the Jazz are the 1 seed, the Suns are the 2 seeds, it feels a little weird because it wasn't expected. Dude. You have guys like the Lakers and the Clippers that are, further down but, still feel like maybe the favorites in the conference. It's just, I'm just really interested to watch it play out. In the East, I'm hoping to see some big 50-point nights from Joel. I really would love to just see some old school late 90s, early 2000s Shaq type performances out of Joel Embiid.
And then
That was
I
the
like,
best parts of Shaq. Was like,
right?
ding dong,
Food's here.
food's here.
Well, but then Jimmy Butler, man. Love
yeah.
to see him in the playoffs. So, yeah, and there's some good games in the East, but
So,
it just is what it is.
These games for our listeners and for you.
All right, there's another one. Apparently,
Hey, man. Keep bringing it. I got Nathan there. So these games start on Saturday, the actual playoff games, because the final play-in game is a Friday.
mm-hmm.
So Saturday we get Nets Celtics on Saturday night on ABC. We get Heat Bucks on ESPN Saturday afternoon. Really good podcasting while I read stuff. Blazers Nuggets late Saturday night, and Mavs Clippers Saturday afternoon. So that's like a full on day Saturday of just back-to-back wall-to-wall basketball.
I'll have to come over.
In addition to
I am.
yeah.
Anyway.
In addition to hockey, the PGA Championship, which is next on the Clubhouse, and Grand Prix qualifying, Monaco.
There's so much good shit this weekend. It's
Right?
I'm gonna have to move. I'll have to. Yeah. It's gonna be
Monaco.
tough. Right?
Sunday morning, baby. Qualifying on Saturday. Let's go.
Yeah, there's so much to watch.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Honestly, it's one of the better sports weekends, and we're gonna get into this. And my low is that I have to have my wisdom teeth cut out tomorrow. But if I have to have my wisdom teeth cut out and just want to feel like I just want to like sit around, this is a pretty damn good weekend to do it. I'm just gonna lock in. I'm going to my basement. I'm getting my screens on. I'm just going PGA Championship on one.
You don't
Basketball.
have to mow, right? You don't have distraction.
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
too wet to mow.
No, and
Basketball.
your teeth, man. You're gonna, you know what? Great.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be great. Basketball, Monaco, PGA, hockey. Gonna be on the remote game this weekend.
Dude, right?
Very excited.
It should. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but NBA playoffs we're starting a good stretch here, man.
Yeah.
We got a few months, get down to the finals. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
a few months. Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah.
Because it's later this year. Usually it's in June, but they moved everything back. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty pumped.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of things that are on, we just mentioned it, the PGA Championship. How about this week's edition of The Clubhouse?
Well, there it is. There's my glove.
PGA Championship this week at Kiowa, the Ocean Course, Kiowa Island, South Carolina.
Way different this year.
Playing way different this year. This course hosted the PGA Championship back in 2012. Rory McIlroy won that PGA Championship by like 6 strokes. Dominated. That was when he was wearing the Jumeirah hats and had a little bit of the fro thing happening and hadn't really like grown into his body yet.
The locks.
Yeah. This is playing a lot different this week. That was back when the PGA Championship was in May, or in August, excuse me. It's now in May, obviously. And in August, if you're not aware, South Carolina is like the armpit of America, or of the world, maybe.
But it's not better here. Like.
No, it is better here, I promise.
Okay, that's really hard. That's bad then. Definitely an armpit type situation.
Yeah, trust me.
No deodorant, no BO, no. Just rocking out.
Yeah. It is humid, people. And
So let's talk about armpits first.
as a result, it is really hard for the course managers to keep everything like really fast and firm because there's too much moisture in the air.
I'm just saying, I'm just horribly immature.
And anyway, in May, on the other hand, it's humid, but it's not like August humid. It's like, we've put on like some deodorant, we're good.
It's more of a glisten than a sweat, if you will.
It's nice.
Nicer.
Yeah, and they're able to now make the golf course really fast, in addition to the fact that it's on the ocean.
Wax those armpits.
And it's on the ocean. And
even though we're talking that we're talking Hawaii now.
Oh my god.
All right, sorry.
It's on the ocean, so the wind blows like crazy. And it's also, by the way, now the longest, if they play from the tips, it's the longest golf course that they've ever held a major on. So it's like almost 7,900 yards. It's ridiculous. It's hard, and it played really, really hard today. Today was Thursday, first round.
Wind in the
Our
face.
today,
you were telling me.
your yesterday.
You
Yeah,
said-
the first 4 holes and then the last 5 holes are directly into the wind, and they're already the hardest holes on the course. Like, by the way, it's usually like arranged, yeah, layout. Routing.
Feng shui to
Routing. That's the golf term.
That's a golf term. That's a golf term.
Yeah. And it played really hard today. The leaderboard was not what your typical PGA Championship is, in that it was a little bit like the scores weren't as low as like what you might typically see in a PGA Championship. The leader is at 5 under, Corey Connors from Canada, but then there's a huge group at 3 under, including Victor Hovland, Brooks Koepka, Keegan Bradley, Colin Morikawa and Phil Mickelson were at 2. Gary Woodland was at 2 under. Ricky Fowler actually played well today. It was good to see Ricky come back and play well. He was 1 under par. You know, it was a day where being under par was really good.
And there's
There were
Stuart
only-
Sink right there.
Yeah, there were only 16 guys under par. This is a field of like 150. So
Tied for 32nd is where even starts.
exactly. So
And then it's just on down from there. Let's see the Mr. Irrelevant. Top score, 16 over.
yeah, Tyler Collette.
And then John Daly, yeah, he's playing because
Well, you got to keep in mind too
13
that
over.
a lot of PGA professionals get to play in this
Oh,
tournament.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
you have some of those guys down there that are PGA professionals.
It's a hard course.
You know, Justin Thomas was 3 over today. Rory McIlroy was 3 over today. A lot of people thought Rory with a chance to repeat here again if there's good form. Pat Reed was 2 over today. Stop cheating. Stop eating.
Spieth was 1 over.
Yep.
Tied for 41. Tied for 41st.
So
It's like
it was it's a really fun golf course to watch because it is different. It has all these weird elements. It's like there's a lot of elevation changes that they've worked into the landscape where like it feels a little bit like a links course, but it's actually not because you can't roll the ball because there's too many elevation changes to get up to elevated greens and stuff and like and these like deep swales. So you can't really like play the ball on the ground. You still have to play it in the air, but the wind is in the air. So it's like this real test of
It
like
is.
it's a real test of like this like
hard-hitting sports and science.
hell yeah,
We
man.
bring it for everybody.
And let me bring it around to history. Been reading in my
a whole liberal arts degree, if you
in
will.
my ING for the week, I included a reading called The Bomber Mafia by Malcolm Gladwell. It's about precision bombing in World War II and how Americans were trying to develop better bombing practices to fight a cleaner war. And one of the things that they ended up running into was when the war moved into
The air.
into Japan. When it went east and into Japan, the Far East in Japan, they were trying to do these precision bombing missions to take out like factories, and we didn't know about the jet stream then. No one knew about the jet stream then. No one had discovered the jet stream because we didn't have technology to discover the jet stream. We just had weather balloons, and they would go in and these missions, and they would be going like 100 knots an hour faster than what they were supposed to be.
Sweet.
So
Gee.
all of their bombings were just like,
Landing in the ocean.
they were just terrible. And so the wind gust is in the air. So is the jet stream. We've brought it full circle.
Just right back in it, baby.
The wind at Kiowa
You
was
have to fight the
brutal
wind
today.
to win
Yes.
in Kiowa.
But man, it's just a fun golf course to watch. There's penalty everywhere. There's just like so many
It's near the ocean.
It is right next to the ocean. It's beautiful.
Just saying.
Brooks made a double on this first hole of the day, and he ended up shooting 69, 3 under par, right there in second place. Like Brooks looks good, man. He has his goatee going. Like I don't know what this goatee thing's new, but it's he's got it going. It's good to see Brooks like.
Yeah.
In competition.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to do.
Yeah, he's not doing the knee thing. He's not like swan kicking.
Yeah. To line up his putts.
Yeah.
And he I'm sure can swing the club better, obviously. Yeah, it's good to see him. There's a lot of Phil Mickelson, like that's pretty good. Like,
all right, so I have a little exercise I thought would be fun. Let's talk about our dream Sunday pairings. Let's go, but just to make it more realistic, let's say you can't use anybody today that shot worse than 1 over. So like the top 40 guys, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for my personal one would be Ricky and Phil.
That
would just be fun because
Yeah.
I want Ricky to win. I've always loved Ricky, and him and Phil always play cash games, and that would just be like kind of fun. I'd really love like a Brooks Koepka. Like Morikawa, like
I'd like a Morikawa with Phil too.
yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Duffner shot 1 under today.
The Duff.
Give me Duff.
Right.
Or like
Stuart Sink contending or
Yeah.
winning a major now would be awesome.
Rom Koepka, Rom DeChambeau. Because I would just love
Or
to see.
Brooke DeChambeau.
Oh yes,
Koepka
that's the
is-
winner.
Oh
That's
my-
the winner. Koepka DeChambeau.
Ah,
Please, golf gods.
yes.
Bryson needs to pick his shit up. The only even par today.
Well, pretty much everybody hates playing with DeChambeau, so really just DeChambeau.
Yeah, but
with
Brooks
anybody.
talks a lot. Brooks and him talk shit back and forth, which is
Right.
like,
Or Brooks Reed.
yeah,
and
that
just
too.
wipe the floor with him.
Yeah, the worst
does
would
that
be
mean Reed
the
would have
worst
to
would
be
be
contending?
DeChambeau Reed.
Oh God.
I can't watch it.
Oh God.
No,
Well,
can't do it. Man, I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun weekend. We were just talking about this, and this goes right into. We might as well go to the weekly INGs because I am gonna be watching so much sports, bro. Monaco Grand Prix. We were mentioning it. Monaco Saturday qualifying, Sunday morning, 8 a.m. It's on ESPN. Check it out, guys. If you haven't ever watched F1, it's the coolest F1 race. It's the biggest F1 race from
gonna
like
see yachts.
yeah. There hopefully like things are reopened in Monaco, and there's gonna be yachts and rich people and
Jay-Z.
yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. It's good
It's
fun.
a great race. It's a cool course.
It's really cool. It's like
yeah.
in the middle of a city. It's been the same way for like 100 years. It's
Monaco's awesome.
yeah, check it out. PGA Championship's on. Playoffs are on for both NBA and NHL. Like there's just a lot to watch.
There'll probably be cornhole on ESPN, the Ocho, and then like darts at some point. It's gonna be. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have time.
I don't know if we're gonna have time either. What are you watching, Commish?
Sports.
Sports. What are you playing?
I've been playing Call of Duty still.
So I've been listening to the new J. Cole. Have you listened to the new J. Cole?
Not yet.
It's good, man.
Not yet.
It's good. I already talked about reading The Bomber Mafia.
Right.
Check that book out. It is actually really fascinating. Like Gladwell, as always, pitching 100 miles an hour, blowing your mind with like thoughts about like the human psyche, and it's crazy. It's really crazy.
It's blowing your
It's also like
mind.
really educational, but in like a fun to read way. I like blew through it. Highs and lows. My high is all the sports.
Definitely.
My low is the wisdom teeth thing. Not
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
The rain's been annoying.
Yeah, the rain sucks.
I've decided I'm gonna find a golf lesson. I think I need to get back to because that was I got to play golf twice this week, and then that was like really cool. But then it's like also, I had some irritating shots. Also, I couldn't get off the tee, but once I got to the fairway, my irons were great. It's like, I don't know.
It's golf, man.
Yeah, right. I just need to find a teacher and not do the insanity thing of
Yeah.
trying it over and over. So
Yeah, I've been
yeah,
thinking about
should
that
be
too.
Fun.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's a great episode. I hope you guys enjoy all the sports this weekend.
No Waffle House, but Hawaiian Bros.
Hawaiian Bros.
Right?
Hey, hey.